What's going on in Verley Sports? Back with another video. In this video, huge news out of New York as the New York Football Giants are finalizing a contract with John Harbaugh to make him the next head coach of the Giants. Huge move, massive for the franchise. It seems like this is the altering move, and it's what's going to get this franchise back in the right direction. And all that you need to know about John Harbaugh is that the entire fan base of the Giants wanted John Harbaugh. That is not something that happens ever. This fan base is never in agreement 100% on something, but this move, the entire fan base was in on. Every single person in the fan base, every single person in the building, every member of this organization wanted Harbaugh. They knew that the Giants needed Harbaugh, and John Harbaugh ultimately feels like he needs the Giants as well. So Harbaugh is finalizing an agreement with the Giants. It's not official yet. It probably will be here, I would assume, at some point today, if not today, tomorrow. And they said that his opening presser will be sometime next week. But Harbaugh's deal with the Giants is looking like it's going to be a 5-year deal in the range of about $100 million. And that goes to tell you all you need to know about how good of a head coach John Harbaugh is, a CEO-type head coach. You're not throwing $100 million at just anybody. Harbaugh is legit, and he's what's going to bring this New York Giants franchise back to relevancy and back to where they need to get to, competing for the playoffs, competing for Super Bowls. And a lot of people put it this way, and I totally agree. This is the best day for this franchise since the last Super Bowl win. It's a huge day for the Giants. It's a huge getting Harbaugh. People were freaking out when they let him leave the building, but he was leaving the building ultimately to probably go let his wife know that they'd be moving to New York. This is a huge move for the Giants, and there's a lot of pieces now that'll come next. Who his staff will be. It sounds like Todd Monken is going to be the offensive coordinator. They still have to conduct the interviews and all that stuff, and they have to get through some requirements. But it sounds like he's going to be the offensive coordinator, which I really like. I think he's a really smart mind, and him and Harbaugh have had a good connection together. The OC, though, the DC is the question mark, and we'll ultimately see what happens there. There's going to be assistant coaches. There's going to be a lot of turnover on this staff. The one guy I hope that stays on is Carmen Bracillo, the offensive line coach. He needs to stay on, and I am really hoping Harbaugh sees the work he's done and will keep him here. But a huge move. Giants get Harbaugh. Harbaugh's going to find the staff. There's going to be a lot of money to help John Harbaugh put together the staff. So huge support from ownership. So a lot of people have been really, over the last few years, been really getting on top of the Giants ownership. Chris Mara, John Mara, Steve Tisch. But this was a big move, and they deserve their flowers here. They have done a tremendous job of luring in Harbaugh. This was not an easy task. And another guy that deserves a lot of credit is Joe Schoen. I mean, we talk about how he should have been fired, and a lot of people think that. I am not as harsh on Joe Schoen as other people, but this, clearly, Harbaugh does not come here if he doesn't trust in Schoen and he doesn't believe in his vision. So Joe Schoen ultimately is the reason Harbaugh is going to come here. It's because of him. It's not. He could have easily said, I want my own GM, but Joe Schoen did his job, and he lured him in here. I shouldn't say because of him, but he wasn't a factor into why he did not come here. He's a factor as why he wanted to come here. The biggest reason we are getting Harbaugh is because of Jackson Dart, which, of course, who drafted him? Joe Schoen. So Joe Schoen's ultimately delivered the franchise quarterback and our CEO, Super Bowl winning head coach, John Harbaugh. Of course, Harbaugh won the Super Bowl with the Ravens. He was there for 18 seasons. A bad year for him was 8-9 like it was this year, and they missed the playoffs because his kicker missed the kick. Just a huge get for the Giants. And, all this bad-mouthing about the ownership, they deserve credit. This was a huge move from them. They opened up the checkbook. They did not flinch. They just threw Harbaugh what he wanted. They gave him everything he wanted. They picked him up on a private jet. They took him to dinner. They brought him home. Chris Mara went to meet up with him in Baltimore at his house on the weekend. Just great from the Giants. They did everything they had to do. And, of course, Joe Schoen ultimately, not a reason Harbaugh didn't want to come here. He's a reason he wanted to come here. So we have to give props to Joe Schoen. He did a great job here in this head coaching cycle. And this head coach, it's weird because usually a head coach interviews are usually to see if the team likes the head coach. In this case, it's to see if Harbaugh liked the Giants. So ultimately, the Giants told him what he wanted to hear. I'm really excited, and I think this is the turning point for this franchise. Huge, huge hire. John Harbaugh, head coach of the New York Giants, and it's up from here. And I think a lot of people are going to look at the Giants as a playoff team moving forward. Let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the Giants hiring John Harbaugh to be the 24th head coach of the franchise. Let me know the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys on the next video, and as always, let's go Giants.